Well said there, Gio. Well said there. Now, the man that's talking about the mirror and the image, the light hitting our eyes. First and foremost, the angle of the mirror will determine how much of that light I see. And I will know when I see the whole light because I won't be able to look at it. It will blind me. That's the first thing. So I know I'm looking directly, horizontally at that image. So if it's coming from another angle from the sky, hits your mirror, when you aim that mirror and you angle it, hits me straight in the eye, I won't be able to look. The same when I'm cycling sometimes, when the sun is above my head. If I look up, the sun is right in my eyeballs. But if I look horizontal, it's lit up the road and I keep on going. So what you say is rubbish, my son. You don't know how the eye works. You don't know anything really. Oh, bloody hell. You see what I mean?
You tag team the other source errors to come in. Who's gonna step up? I love it, dude. I figured it out today. It was such a crazy bus ride, let me tell you.
They all like parrot this. They really don't get it. Or they're being disingenuous.
Disingenuous, bro. They don't want to.
It's the 3Ds. It's the 3D syndrome. Determined to deceive dishonestly. Syndrome.
Well, they like consistently do not get this point. Why?
Well, they have to see it the way that they're trying to claim it's happening. I mean, I hear what he's saying, like, and I've known this. I mean, it's not like it's new to me right now. I mean, obviously the way that they try to claim this, but
it comes from up. The angle comes from up. I'm like, bro, it's within the center of my vision when I fucking see it.
Well, yeah, they have like the photon model, though. You know, the photons are like curving, into your eyeball.
I can make it which way.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Basically, just balls. Just balls are hitting your eyeball. That's what they claim, Riggs. It's just many photon balls hitting your ball. It's just balls upon balls coming into your balls and making images higher to then give them a ratio to factor in calculations to explain away a spherical Earth model.
Bro, they're making flat earthers when they argue that dumb
ladies
shit.
And gentlemen. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I've been quoting from the wrong book of the psychological makeup of the Globers. It's the 4Ds disorder from the 4th edition. 4Ds. Determined to deceive, dishonestly, disorder. That's what it is.
4D's nuts.
All right, I'll try again. What's the topic? What are Globers lying about?
I think we're on the last year right now. We're in disorder.
I can try to explain in another way the bending light thing. Unlike a laser, do we agree that when light hits an object, the light bounces off that object in all directions?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. What up?
All right. So you're right that when the refraction is bending the light down, it's going down. You're right. But the ray that would have been going to your eye without refraction is now missing your eye because it's going down, right? That specific ray is going lower. However,
the ray off my forehead
hold on.
is going to make
almost
it.
Done. Almost done. The rays that were going above your head now are also bending down. And some of those are now entering your eye. And which direction are they coming from? From above. So you look up to see it. Does that make more sense?
That's great theory.
I mean, it's just logical.
Okay, well, if I'm looking at a building that's at the center of my vision, off into the distance, it's not coming at a greater angle, is it? It's literally entering my eye at the same angle. Because by the time the light has come to me, it's attenuated through all that medium.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I follow. I mean, if the light is bent down, you're looking at. If you're looking at it dead on, that means you're looking at it wherever it's been refracted from, whether that's raised or lowered.
It's very simple, bro. All right. So if you're far away, for example, I was on top of Lone Mountain. It's about 5 miles up. Not 5 miles. 500 feet up. And I was looking at the stratosphere. I'm in Vegas. And it's about 10 miles away. The stratosphere is about 2,000 feet up. Okay, but in my vision, in my line of sight, it looks like the tip of the stratosphere is directly in my point of convergence, like literally on the horizon. Yet in reality, I know that object is way bigger than where I was. Like it would be 500 feet above my head if I got up close to it. So what is light doing in that situation then? Why am I able to see the tip of the stratosphere basically in my line of sight, even though I'm 500 feet below, 10 miles away? Wouldn't that make the light do a U shape?
What is the stratosphere?
It's a hotel. It's a hotel.
Okay.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Yeah, we're having a conversation like that. Yeah. It's a hotel.
Yeah. So you are sorry, I wasn't following the whole thing. Can you do it one more time?
The stratosphere is taller than where I was, right? I was 500 feet in the air. The stratosphere is 2,000 feet in the air or whatever. I was basically, or it was 1,000 feet and 2,000 feet, whatever it was. I was half the distance, like I was half the height of what I was looking at. But
And
because
how far
it was
away were you?
10 miles away, because it was 10 miles away, just about. To me, in my line of sight, my vision, like me as the observer, it looked as though that the stratosphere, the tip of the hotel, the very tippy top, was directly in my line of sight at the horizon.
It was like the top was in line with the
I might actually still have
horizon?
the photo. I might actually still have the photo. It's kind of a shitty photo, but I have it. I'll post it. But my question is, what is the light doing in that situation? In order to understand what you're saying.
How do you know your height and how do you know your distance?
Because I was on top of Lone Mountain, which is a known mountain, and it was between Lone Mountain, the tip of it, and then the stratosphere is known height in terms of the hotel, and then the distance, I just did like a little line towards it. This was a while back, but this is like one of the first conversations I had with Jesse Path of Light, and we had the same kind of conversation. And he came to the conclusion that basically the light is doing a U shape. Here it is. I got it right here.
So
you have
refraction.
You have to really zoom in to see the stratosphere. But if you look up a picture of the stratosphere to understand, like what kind of hotel it is, it's like a needle. It's like the Space Needle, but just smaller.
Sure. It looks higher than the horizon. The thing that's sticking up right in the center.
Right in the center.
I can't even see the freaking horizon. Like, I mean, I can infer where the horizon is based on all the other lights.
My line of sight, dude. I'm technically half the height of what I'm looking at. Right?
Yeah. I don't know. At this point,
wouldn't that
like,
make the light be a U shape?
So
according to your theory?
Well, so you would agree on a flat Earth that the horizon always rises to your eye level, right? That's one of those staple arguments, right?
No, I don't agree with that.
Oh, really? You're the first flat earther that doesn't agree with that I've ever heard. Okay. Well, anyway, generally speaking,
is that it appears to.
It appears to. It doesn't.
Sure.
Follow.
I mean, the horizon is apparent, as you guys all say, which is true. So yes, it appears because it's an apparent position to rise to your eye level.
It's apparent, right? Do you believe in a geometric horizon?
Well, that's a side topic. Let's assume a flat Earth for now. Do you agree that the horizon appears to raise to your eye level on a flat Earth?
Appears, yeah, sure. Just for the sake of continuing the conversation, sure.
Right. So what that would mean is anything that appears to protrude above that horizon line is taller than you, because your eye line is that horizon, right? Anything that sticks up, even just the tiniest bit, means that it's taller than you. Now, the farther away something is, though, obviously the smaller and smaller it's going to be. Anything above that horizon line is going to get closer to it going down, and anything below that horizon line is going to get closer to it going up. And that picture that you posted is just so freaking far away, but you can tell it's sticking up. It's sticking up above the horizon, at least as far as I can tell, which means it would be taller than your eyesight.
That means it would be concave.
No, it just means that it's taller than your eye line, just like you say it should be.
But do you know why I brought this picture up, though?
No.
It's because depending on the distance, right, and the conditions of the day and the observer height, you're going to have different effects. It'll look concave, it'll look convex, it'll look flat. The point is, optics are not a good way to prove the shape of the Earth. Now, when you guys say that we see a flat Earth, when we destroy the horizon, the geometric horizon that you guys propose, because you have to have a physical geometric horizon based off of the entailments of the globe. Period. You guys believe in a certain dimension of Earth. But when we see things that don't comport with the physical dimensions of Earth, then you guys say refraction. It's unfalsifiable. So why are we even having an optic conversation?
I've always felt the same way in reverse, right? Like people say, "Oh, we see too far," or "We don't see too far." Oh, refraction. Either side, because the problem with refraction is that you cannot know the refractive variables between you and the thing that you're looking at. It's just impossible to know all of them. So either side can reach for it in any moment that to support their cause. So you're right. I don't like looking at this.
Well, I say this, maybe someone might disagree. It's not mutually exclusive because optics, it doesn't determine what the shape of the ground it's doing. You'd have to measure the ground. That's what's in contention.
Sure. Now, I will say that while it is apparent, the globe belief would be that it's more or less geometric. It's geometric plus or minus some refractive
when you need it to be, right?
No, I mean, but what I'm saying is that the refractive variables are not going to be so drastic that it's going to change everything. It's going to be, especially at higher altitudes. The higher altitudes you go to make your observations, the less and less any sort of refractive variables are going to matter, and it's going to be closer and closer to what a geometric position would be.
I mean, you're kind of just saying the same thing Ruhif was saying. At a certain height, that there's not going to be much refractive effects. Therefore, we can just use standard refraction in our calculation, and then boom, all these observations prove Earth curve.
I mean, that's true.
It doesn't work that way.
I mean, the closer you are to the horizon, you have refractive effects that are more impacted by temperature rather than pressure.
But why wouldn't you go near the horizon? Like, why wouldn't you be at sea level? Wouldn't that be the only way?
You just said it yourself. You steel-manned the case. You said that there's so many refractive variables that you don't like using these.
Yeah, but the thing is, you guys have a physical entailment to the horizon. We don't. We've always said it's apparent. You have a
we agree that there are refractive problems, right?
No, but you have a physical geometric horizon that has certain dimensions to it. Period. Right? If I'm a 6-foot observer height, right, I'm looking 3 miles away at a target. That's where the horizon's supposed to be.
No, that's not what Globe believes. That's a strong man.
All right.
No.
All right, what is it?
Ask any Glober. Are you going to say Globers will say that exactly the geometric position is exactly where we should see it? No, every Glober will tell you that there are refractive variables that you have to take into account. Now, the problem is you don't know what those variables are in most instances.
We'll clear it up with this question. Is the horizon physical or apparent?
I already just phrased it like 2 minutes ago. It is more or less geometric, plus or minus some variables of refractive effects, which you can mitigate.
More or less geometric. You're saying the Earth breathes? Like, what are you talking about? It's either geometric or it's not.
There is a geometric position that apparently is changes a bit based on your refractive variable, and you can control for that refractive variable.
So the physical geometric horizon changes.
Yeah, no, the physical doesn't. The apparent does.
Do you see how that's contradictory?
I don't think we should ever just call it geometric. It should only ever be called apparent. Sure. Because the horizon.
I mean, there is a geometric position.
That's our argument. It's always been apparent.
It's only ever apparent. Like, I understand there's a geometric shape to the Earth, but the horizon is an optical phenomena, and so it should only ever present apparently.
Do you see how much you guys have to struggle with this? Like, it's contradictory. This is why I bring that question up. It's
not contradictory.
It's either geometric
just because you say
or
it's apparent
not.
Does not mean that the geometric position can't give you information, like useful information about where it should be. The geometric position, like prediction, if you don't take into account refraction, is very useful in narrowing it down. Hey, it's generally going to be right here, and guess what? It generally is right there. And then if you can account for the refractive variables as well, then you'll get even more accurate, right?
You can't have a general assumption about the Earth's dimensions when it's used in orbital velocity. Like, orbital escape velocity has the R value. There's so many
What?
other things that have the R value that if the R value was destroyed, then everything else
What?
that has been claimed about using this R value would also be done for. Period.
Isn't
Like, it
that
would
a
be
separate
done.
topic though? Because we're talking about optics, and that's separate from knowing the R value.
Well, the optics are very important when we're discussing Earth's geometric or apparent horizon, right? It can't have it both ways. It's either it's apparent or it's a physical.
How does the optics and the apparent position of the horizon affect like orbital velocities or things like that?
I think
Could
he's
you
referring
explain
to
that?
the terrestrial refraction 7/6.
Exactly.
Yeah. So like, how does that affect orbital mechanics for like
Anything, not just
someone
orbital
orbiting Earth?
mechanics, anything that uses the R value.
Yeah. Well, explain how the change in optics affects any of that.
If you change the R value, then these orbital velocities, these escape velocities that are supposedly, needed to take place in order to launch, like, for example, the ISS or something, then that means it didn't work. That means it wouldn't have worked. That means it's bullshit.
How
It
are we
means
changing the R value? What do you mean by that?
okay, you're changing the R value when you
matey.
yeah, like you're changing the R value when you're claiming 7/6 R with terrestrial refraction or even atmospheric refraction, if you want to say that. What you just
Buddy,
use a slider bar basically. And it's like,
buddy,
oh,
we're only doing
whatever.
that. We're only doing that for like observations to the